Okay, welcome. Is the sound okay? Can you guys hear me good? All right. Let's begin. Please start with feet about hip width apart for our Ba Chang Gong exercise. Start by looking to the right, one balls at the feet. Look forward, come down. Looking left, come up. Center. Looking right, come up. Center and left. Back to center. Now keep the heels down, look up. Center, down. Center, up. Center, down. Back to the center. Now leaning the head to the right. Then leaning the head to the left. Over again to the right. Chin up a bit. And down a bit. Back to the center. Head over to the left. Chin up a bit. Down a bit. Back to the center. Half circles with the head. And center. Put your thumbs in a light fist, elbows bent. Roll the shoulders back. And then forward. Then fingertips to the collarbone. Roll the elbows forward. And back. Then then shake the arms out. Now shifting to one side, then the other. And back to the center. Now big arm circles forward. and back. And thumbs in a light fist, elbows out. Circle in at the elbow joint. And the other way. Interlace, wrist rolls. Other way. And some waves. Reverse. And rubbing the palms. Hands to the kidneys. Take the hips around. Other way. Back to the center. Shifting to your left foot. Right leg comes across. Opens out. Then inwards. Same leg. And then other leg opening out. And in. Okay, then heels together, toes together. Rub the palms. Bend the knees, rub the knees. And then take the knees around, keeping them together. And the other way. Standing up, ankle rotations. Other way. Other foot. Other way. Okay, now heels together, feet angled out, lift the toes, relax the arms, gently twist side to side. Get back to center, now heels out, feet parallel hip width apart, bend the knees, drop the tailbone down, grounding yourself, rock gently forward and back. Back to the center. Let's shake it all out now. With a jump. One more time. And shaking it out. Great. Okay, welcome. Namaste. Today we're going to be getting into just adding in a concept into our practice of just bringing some gentle movement into our poses. Because usually the poses are held fairly static, but there are ways that you can bring some movement to the poses. And some reason why you bring some movement in. Sometimes you might want to do your practice to some music, feeling the flow, and you can actually bring that into your practice. And sometimes it can help you to move into some stiff areas if you can just kind of edge in. But you have to be careful in moving in poses that you don't bounce in poses. That puts you at risk of harming yourself by pulling muscles and things like that. So move slowly, consciously, and very safely. Okay, let's start please in kneeling position. From all fours, we do some cat-cow tilts to start. Inhale as the belly's down. Exhale as you bring the belly up. Okay, going back to neutral.
Now this is a more challenging movement, very similar to the cat-cow. We take the spine around and the head goes in the opposite direction. So it's the same movement, but we're actually taking a circular motion. It's almost like, imagine there's a hula hoop hovering around your midsection and you're trying to clean the inside of it, if that makes sense. Then take it the other way. And I find some people have a hard time getting that movement. That's okay. Some fun to play around with. Okay, from here, take your hands a little wider. Take some hip circles. Other way. Great, and then coming forward into a kneeling push-up position. And from here, you might throw in some chaturanga. That would be a good movement to add in for plank. And then lower all the way to the floor. Point the toes, hands in for cobra. Keep the neck long, curl up, baby cobra. And slowly lowering from there, reach your left arm out and peeling up the right side of the body. This one you could play around with your top leg, stretching back, drawing circles. Good, come back to flat, draw your left hand in, right hand out, peeling up the left side of the body. We're getting some movement in that left leg. And coming back to flat. Bring your hands down at your sides, press the palms into the floor and lift the legs up. The legs long. And rising up with the arms. And bringing the hands forward and setting down. Press the palms, lift up to all fours. Now from here, bring the hands forward, bend the elbows back to come onto the forearms. To make it easier, you could interlace your fingers. From here, tuck the toes under, keep the knees bent, come into forearm, down dog with bent knees. And you might walk the dog here. And then bending the knees back down. Lifting the elbows up, palms flat. Now tuck the toes, coming back to down dog, walking the dog. Now engage both legs, inhale, come forward into plank. If you like, one thing you can add into your plank is you take your left hand, touch your right shoulder, and shift your left hand, other side. Shift, touch, and it tones equally through the core. Because sometimes you have one side that's stronger and it can hold your plank. This makes it so that both sides have to be toned. And then coming back to downward dog. Lifting the heels up, then heels down, heels up, heels down, and bend the knees, look forward, step, walk, or jump to the top of the mat. Come into flat back extension. You might play with rocking a bit forward and back here, but keep your toes soft. Make sure you're not going to tip. And from here, bending the knees ragdoll and sway a bit side to side, kind of like you're walking the dog a little bit, but without lifting your heels. It's that same kind of pressing action. And then fingertips down. Have the right foot forward, take the left leg way back. We're going to do a low lunge. Now with the back heel, we're going to make circles. Move it around, which brings you a bit forward in your lunge, and then brings you a bit back. Kind of like you're massaging that back ankle. Then the other way. Then coming up onto the front thigh, or reaching up high. Arms out to the side. Inhale, arms up to the front. Exhale, arms out to the side. Inhale, arms to the front. Exhale. Inhale. Now exhale, float down. Good. Lower your back knee. Sink the hips forward. From here, take your right hand up. And you might draw a circle with your right hand. Move up, move around, opening up the shoulder. And back to center. Pop the back leg forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold. Now having the left foot forward and the right foot way back. We're in our left lunge. And then circling with the back heel. Other way. Okay, coming up onto your front leg. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, up front. Exhale. And floating down. Lower the back knee, keeping it back. Sink your hips forward. Take the right palm flat, left hand reaches up. Maybe taking circles. Inhale. Exhale down. And then hop the back leg forward. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold. And inhale, sweep wide and up. Exhale. Namaste. Okay, shake it out through your mat. Give you a little sip of water. Get a sip of water. Okay, taking a wide stance. Now in this position, start by pressing the outside edge of the feet as if you're trying to split your mat. Careful you don't slide out. Thighs are toned, kneecaps toned. Now, imagine you're trying to bunch your mat up, so engaging the legs inwards towards each other. Good. Now pressing again to the outside edges, as if splitting your mat. Turn your left toes in, right toes out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale into warrior two. Inhale, turn the hands palm up. Exhale, turn the hands palm down. Rolling in the shoulders.
Now bring the right forearm down. Left arm is going to swing around. An extended side angle, but continuous movement. And then let this one draw you up to standing. Turn the right toes in, left toes out. Reaching up, inhale. Exhale, arms wide. Warrior two, inhale, palm up. Exhale, palm down. Kind of like you're drawing a figure eight with your hands. And then left forearm down, right arm swings around. Big circle. Let this one carry you up to the center. Left toes in. Interlace fingers behind you. Roll the shoulders back with the heart. Toning the legs from here. Go forward an inch. Come back upright. Go forward 2 inches. Come back upright. 3 inches. Come back upright. Make sure not to go too fast. Don't bounce. Go deeper. And this time go all the way forward, maybe lying forward. Good inhale, coming back up to the center. Bringing the heels in. Good, interlace the fingers in front, turn the palms forward. And then knees wide, arms up. Imagine there's a post in front of you. Inhale, grab the top of the post. Exhale, press it to the ground. And pressing up. Now bring the hands just above the knees, resting the weight of the upper body into the legs, maybe shifting a bit side to side. Maybe one shoulder forward at a time. Back to center now. Hands down, sit down low. Skandasana. Now usually you do Skandasana feet flat. If you want, you can try the heel up one. Just be careful, go slow. And back to center. Walk the hands forward. Turn the heels out. Sit back into wide-legged down dog. In this one, sway your body a bit side to side, and you can take a deeper stretch into the left and right hamstring over time. And walking the hands in, maybe taking a deeper forward fold, just for a couple breaths. And pressing up, bring the feet in. From the legs, draw yourself up to standing. Bring feet in the rest of the way. Okay, shake it out. When you're ready, find the mountain pose for our sun salutation. Inhale, sweep wide. Bring the legs, exhale, dive forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, step, walk, jump back. You could go right to downward dog or through a vinyasa. Once you're in the down dog, you're going to sway the hips from side to side. Maybe walk in the dog.
Now make sure your shoulder blades are down the back. You can take little, I wouldn't say bounces, but pulses down and up a bit, down and up a bit in the upper body. And then bend the knees, look forward, step, walk, or jump to the top. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold over the legs. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, namaste. Now, this is a tree pose next, but it's going to be a bit of a moving tree, which is a little more challenging, but feel free to stick with the static one if it's already challenging enough. But in the tree, sometimes like to do some of the Qigong movements. This is plucking stars, and adding in that movement to the arms adds an element of balance in the pose. Okay, and releasing that side, other side up. This is rolling the ball. Some days you might have just a lot of energy, and just staying still in the pose is just not an option. So these are some kind of options to move in the poses. Now let's try our sun salutation B from here. So sitting back into chair pose. And we're going to do a little pulses where we sit a little lower, come up, sit a little lower, come up, a little lower. And straighten the legs, fold over to the front. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to fold, bend the knees, plant the hands, legs back. You could go right to downward dog or through the vinyasa. Now please, once you're in the downward dog, we're going to take the right leg up into wild thing. But we're going to bring it forward, back, around. Nice big circle over top. One more time. And then swing that leg all the way forward. Turn the back heel down, rising up into warrior one. Now take our arms into cactus arms. Inhale, rolling shoulders back. Exhale, pressing out. So you're getting more and more back, more wide. Good, pressing up. Bring your hands to your hips. Roll the shoulders back, leading with the heart. Tilt forward, expansive legs. Good, anchor from your back leg. Draw yourself up. Now we're going to lean forward, coming to airplane, stepping forward, coming up. Airplane. Possibly going through, it's like the movement of the breaststroke. You reach forward and out to the side like you're swimming through water. But try to open up the shoulders and chest as you're doing it. It's a stretching action. And then floating the hands down, step back. You could go right to downward dog or through the vinyasa. Okay, and then taking the left leg up and over, around. Just tracing the knee in a big circle. And swing that leg all the way forward. Turn the back heel down, rising up to warrior one. Cactus arms. Inhale. Shoulders roll back. Exhale, press out. Press your front leg straight. Hands to the hips. Pull shoulders back, leading with the heart. Tilting forward. Coming back upright. Now bend the front leg, lean forward, coming into airplane. Possibly adding in that movement with the arms. And floating down, leg back. You could go right to downward dog or through the vinyasa. Now from here, we're going to come forward, swing your right foot forward on the outside of your hand. Lower the back knee and see if you can come into lizard. But this time we'll pulse it down. So we bend the elbows, come a little lower, come back up, then come a little lower. Gentle pulsing, not bouncing. Maybe getting the elbows down. Now this is a little bit of a different transition, so feel free to skip it if you like. It's a little trickier. We take the back leg forward into Malasana. Stepping forward, and we're into Malasana. Take a few breaths in Malasana. And then from here, take the right leg back. And now we're in the left side. Lizard pose, hands forward. Bend the elbows, pulsing down a little bit. Down a little bit. Down. Maybe all the way down. And going up. See if you can step up into Malasana. Sitting back. In Malasana, you can shift a bit from side to side. It's helps to have your fingertips in front for balance and groundedness. Okay. And then from there, take the knees down. I'll show you from the front, actually. This is lion's pose from Vajrasana. So toes tucked under, sitting back on the heels. If you can't sit like this, pretty much any seated position is okay. So the movement, this is for lion's pose. In the hands is going to be to reach the fingers out like a lion's claws and contract the abs. Okay, for a breath. So that's the exhale. Then the inhale, you kind of relax that, sit up tall. The exhale, you'll be in like that. Now the face, on the exhale, you extend your tongue like that. You breathe out with the sound ha, okay? And you look down towards the tip of your nose. So you almost go a little bit cross-eyed. It's an eye exercise as well. Okay, so you take a deep breath in, sit up tall, and then out. In. One more time. And this massages the digestive organs, so it's good for that. It's also supposed to help bad breath for some reason. Maybe get it all out. All right, now let's come around. We're going to take the right leg forward for pigeon pose. Hips square. Square into the front. Inhale, you're up. Exhale. Going a bit forward. You could come up and down. Make sure to tuck the tailbone as you go through this movement.
Okay, let's take the other leg forward, left side king pigeon. You stay upright, you could lie forward. You could transition between the two, make sure to tuck the tailbone. Palms flat, come back through, downward dog. And bending the knees, he's coming around to a seated position. Balancing 3 points for Navasana, boat pose next. Catch and hold behind the legs, extending the arms up the chest, lifting the feet if you can, reaching forward if you can. And if you want to add a bit of movement, you can start to reach forward, come back, reach forward, come back. Eventually maybe holding the extension. Now let's come down into butterfly. Now in butterfly, it's tempting to bounce, to want to kind of bounce like that, but let's just do slow movement. In fact, in the hips, we want the knees almost like they're drawing a circle. So there's a bit of a circular motion forward and back. So both of the knees drawing a circle. So you reverse that circle. Okay. Good. Now taking the feet wide. You keep a Vishakanasana. Start by sitting up tall. You can keep the hands behind you for this, but we basically take it around in a circle. You could incorporate the arms in a circling motion and around. Other way. And back to the center. And bringing the feet together, Dandasana. Hands beside you. Now normally we press down and hold, but see if you can press and find a little bit of movement where you can press down and come up, doing some like repetitions. Okay, and coming to seated position. The left leg forward, coming into Janu Shirshasana, squaring to the left foot. Sit up tall, hinge forward. See if you can grab your ankle or your foot. And a way that you can get deeper in the pose is every time you inhale, you lengthen the spine. Exhale, hinge a little more. Lengthen and hinge. Lengthen and hinge. Lengthen and hinge. Okay, coming up. Change sides. Squaring up to that right foot, sitting up tall, hinging forward. Just lift, hinge forward. Just lift, hinge forward. Just lift, hinge forward. Sitting up. Left leg forward, right leg across. Staying tall and gently twisting to the right. Make sure you get that right hip down. In fact, play with shifting your weight from your left and right sits bones. Just not too much of it, like maybe 20% of your weight shifting side to side, left and right sits bone. You can see how that affects the stretch in the right hip. And we want equal weight
ultimately, or slightly more on the right hip. Let's release that side. Now right leg forward, left leg's in, cross, left hand's behind, sitting up tall, and just gently shifting the weight from left to right sits bone. Not really rocking, just a gentle shifting action. Okay, back to center. Now we're going to come around into wide-legged child's pose, where we're going to do side body opening. So it's not really a moving pose, but this is a movement we don't usually do. But it's we come to the side, just stretch out through the side body, and then to the other. So coming forward first, then over to the right. It's kind of like you're in downward dog to the right side. Try to rest your forehead down still. Now walk those hands over to the left side. And bring the hands in. Please make your way around onto your back now. Draw your feet in. Now in this pose, a little bridge, we're going to incorporate the arms in the movement. So as we peel the hips up, we're going to lift the arms up above the head, exhale, and lower down. Those two movements hinging one another together. So inhale, hips up, exhale, rolling the spine down. Inhale, tuck the tailbone, arms up. Exhale, rolling it down. One more time. Now keep your hips up. Lower the arms, bend the elbows, and lift into a regular little bridge. And slowly lowering the hips down. Hug your knees in towards you, knees close. And take the knees around in a circle, like you're drawing a circle with the knees themselves. Other way. And releasing the feet to the floor a little wider apart. And exhale, knees over to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, knees over to the left. And so on for a few cycles. And back to the center. Please hug your knees in, this time knees wide. Okay, and then lifting the heels, control the ankles, feet or toes. Happy baby pose. Maybe rocking side to side. Maybe stretching it out. And then from there, pressing both legs straight up towards the sky. 4 or 5 more breaths if you can, really extending out of the feet. Good. Bending the knees back down to the floor. Finding Shavasana, final relaxation. Maybe with the knees resting into each other, toes turned in. Hands palm up, shoulder blades down the back. Chin lightly tucked, eyes gently closed. Take a few deep, long exhalations as we rest into stillness for a few minutes. Now, please take your time. You can stay as you are, or if you want to shift into a meditation position, please do. So we did a practice of bringing motion into our stillness of our poses, and now we're going to go into stillness from all that motion. And in meditation, it's one of the biggest obstacles is really bringing that stillness into your physical body. So you'll notice you have a tendency to fidget, to sway, to rock, to itch, to move, little twitches, that sort of stuff. And to find complete stillness is very challenging, but it's a very important part of the yoga practice. So let's take a minute to move from all that movement to come down in to be centered and still. Whether you're in Shavasana still or sitting in meditation, let's move now into stillness. See if you can sit for just a minute in pure stillness. Okay. As always, feel free to continue as long as you can, as long as you like. If you have any questions, as always, please feel free to contact me at kungayogi@hotmail.com. I'm happy to take requests too. If you have a pose you'd like broken down a little better, or a new pose you'd like me to try out. We do a lot of the poses in this class. There's not really a whole lot that we don't do. But if there's one that you want to experiment with, I can see if I can make it accessible to everyone. So thanks for coming today, and I hope to see you again next week, same time. We have a couple weeks off for Christmas, but we're pretty much ongoing for the rest of the year. So see you next time. Namaste.
You're very welcome. Thanks for your help, James.